Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to talk about Cody Ko because he has responded. Not necessarily as himself, he has responded as TMG, which we all know is his podcast and company, but it was signed as Cody, which is a little weird because it also wasn't really like a public response. It was something that only went out to their patrons, and it's something that has confused me a lot in understanding what is going on amongst all this drama. So I have brought Cance in here today. We have actually been talking about Cody Ko behind the scenes for a while now, trying to figure out exactly what was going on, and we are going to go through everything that has happened from the D'Angelo Wallace video to now. The response, the lack of response, what people are saying. Is Cody out of TMG? Is he not? And we're going to try and piece it all together. Sound good?
That sounds great. Also, Stanz said it, but I'm here. Hello. If you don't already know what's happening with Cody Ko, then you have to just go and watch D'Angelo Wallace's video.
This video will be very hard to parse as well. Like, we are going to assume you have a baseline of information. We are not here to rehash a video that someone else has done research in and made. We are trying to connect the lines between other things that we have heard or other people have talked about. You basically have to watch the video.
So it's been 2 weeks as of recording this since D'Angelo's video dropped, and technically there's still no response from Cody. The technicality is, as you mentioned, it was a TMG post. If you want to go back, technically it's been a month since Cody's responded, because Tana's podcast episode talking about this dropped on the 22nd of June. And when Tana is talking about that on that episode, she's not talking about it like it's breaking a new story.
I've tried to talk about this a million times, and I feel like I never have the right words. But it's everywhere all over the internet, and I know people want me to talk about it, and I'm going to do my best right now, you know? I hooked up with Cody Ko when I was 17 and he was 25. Yeah. It happened.
The reason that she talks about it like that is because it isn't the first time she's talked about it. She's mentioned it before, and Cody then messaged her.
Yeah, which was something uncomfortable learned in the video.
There was a while ago where I think I said something about it online and it was starting to surface, and he texted me like, are we good? And
crazy thing to text, by the way, right? Are we good? Like, hey, I see you're bringing this up. Are we good? It is a situation that needs to like come to light. And as we see more of these clips of Tana like talking about it, she has been talking about it not only recently, but for years. It is something that is known, especially amongst like their communities. And it's something that like the monkey has been on his back for so long that you wish that it would just be like admitted and talked about, right? So it's not like a we good moment, because we're kind of not good.
Yeah, it's worse as well, because Tana felt like pressured from that text to then take it down. So this previous time of her talking about it was removed from the podcast episode because of the text. If you press play, she'll continue.
Yeah, she goes like, yeah, we're good.
And like, I said, yeah. And like, he was like, my wedding's coming up, like yada, yada, yada. And I was like,
is Cody Ko a wife guy?
Cody Ko is definitely a wife guy. We talked a bit about this before the video started, so YouTube's going to be a bit blind to this. But
sorry, we're trying to better understand wife guys. But you know what? Now that we see it, it's all making sense.
It all makes sense. Wife guys are no good.
Yeah.
So naturally, as we've established, Cody has been trying to avoid this for so long, and of course, he hasn't responded. One of the people to speak out about his lack of response that had a really good take was one of your friends, Stanz, Jordan Adika.
Yes. Oh, on Sad Boys. Yes, I've seen this.
On Sad Boys, which you've been on. Woo!
Mm-hmm. It's going to be not long, but a little while before this episode comes out. It's totally possible something does come out, but
yeah, we're recording this on Thursday, July 18th.
Even if it does, that kind of changes nothing about the situation so far, because it's still something he consciously tried to avoid. Well, is continuing avoiding, but let's say he does say something. Let's say he even makes a statement that's like very self-effacing and very self-critical and is the air quotes best statement that he could make. The silence so far is already a transgression, just as the initial assault was. Mm-hmm. It's already something just so objectively wrong and objectively deliberate that it's like that. That's not forgivable. It's not in a people can change, people can grow, whatever. Just huge shitty thing to do already.
Yeah.
And this was a week and a half ago they're saying this, right? They're saying if Cody Ko comes out and says, this is a thing I did, and it was awful and horrible, and I've been thinking about my actions, and I apologize to Tana, and this, and that, even if he does everything, quote unquote, right, he still did it. And it doesn't really affect the way that we have like seen him in these last few weeks. Not to mention that we are sitting here now a week and a half later, and he still said nothing outside of like a company post that only went to a small subset of super fans that are paying for content that maybe wasn't even by him and doesn't really say anything about what he's doing.
Someone else who had a response on this is Brittany Broski.
Ooh.
She was getting slated online for her response, which you can see here.
I'm crushed to learn about the Cody allegations. If it's proven to be true, then that's extremely upsetting as a collaborator and longtime fan. I find all of this disturbing, inappropriate, and just flat out disappointing. I think what people are most upset with about this is that if it's proven to be true, where it's like, why are we using language like this in like what is supposed to be like an impassioned, like talking about this to your community that is like very closely intertwined with the Cody Co community. Someone who you've gone on their podcast, someone who you've talked about like loving as like a creator, and also like someone you've talked about romantically being interested in on her podcast, which like makes this all even weirder. And people were not happy about it.
The fact that she put, if it's proven to be true, is obviously bad for the reason you said, but it also then allows her to say that I find it inappropriate and flat out disappointing. Like, it's disturbing. She can say all these like really negative adjectives towards Cody because in her statement, she's saying it might not be true. But if it is, then he's these things. It's like she's getting away with not actually calling him those things because
she is not actually calling him these things. Yeah, she is getting away with it because of the way. That's why people are so mad at the words, because she is not saying anything here.
Now, I will say that the amount of hate that was against Brittany Broski that I saw on Twitter was, after this response, was crazy. As we've said, this response was not good, but the like flack that I saw Brittany getting compared to the actual person who did the thing, Cody, was like crazy different. So although I do not like her response, and I think she is cringe because, like we said, she's like siding with someone when there shouldn't be sides. She was getting way more hate than Cody was, which is crazy because he's the person that did the thing, right?
Right, and still is, and is something, I don't know if we're going to talk about it later, but all of the people around him are getting absolutely bombed with like questions about it and things. And if you look at Cody Co's stuff, his YouTube videos, his Reddit, all those things are being deleted. So it's like, people who have these questions about it, people who want to know more, people who want to like let their feelings be known, are forced to go to like his wife's channel and Noel's channel and stuff like that to talk about it, because he is manicuring. He is doing one of the best, in air quotes, because I don't think it's necessarily a good thing, but like the best jobs at avoiding this drama. In fact, one of the things I noticed about D'Angelo's video is he's like, and it's terrible he's doing this. And you have to think, it's like, well, yeah, but also it's the best for him who has done this bad thing, which is like, I hate, but I do think he's actually doing a good job of avoiding right now.
Yeah, it shows that Brittany Broski spoke out about this and got hate that she wasn't getting previously. So Cody would only get more hate by actually addressing this and talking about it, because there is no response, I personally think, that would make this situation okay. So
right. But I mean, the situation, and this goes back to what Jordan said, the situation is not okay. So the silence, the talking doesn't matter, but that doesn't mean that you can't come clean about things. That doesn't mean that you can't apologize. That doesn't mean that you can start on a path to make things right. And this is unfair. It's something that I feel, but it's like the fact that he hasn't talked about it's like making me feel even fucking weirder about it. Because at a certain point, you're like, he could say this didn't happen, but he hasn't done that. And he's continuing on with his life.
The silence speaks volumes for sure. Yeah, it is crazy. Because if it didn't, you'd just say that. But he hasn't. Then a couple of days later, about a week after the initial D'Angelo video dropped, more allegations were made. So originally it was just Tana. And then people did some digging online around the time and found another person.
In case you're somehow neutral about the Cody Co situation, and this is a post from someone who was friends with someone that Cody Co was seeing when they were all in high school. I will read through it, but just to give you a little bit of context on it. I've religiously watched Cody since Vine and have a vivid memory of him dating a high schooler. Him and his frat friend group would hang out with a bunch of teen girls, and they'd sometimes appear in his videos. There was one girl he'd be with a one-on-one in his Vines, which people speculated he was dating at the time. I remember looking into it and was surprised to see she was like 17 since he was in his mid-20s. He still follows the high schoolers on Instagram, and they're in his old YouTube vlogs. Feel like I'm the only one that remembers. And then the people talking about this post on Reddit. I think I do know what you're referring to. Do you remember her name? I remember her having darker hair and someone making a joke about them and then them kissing in a video. Wow, her page is private, so I went to her friend's page to see if I could figure out how old she was. And there was a 19th birthday post for her in May 2016. When did they date? And then it was definitely around 2014, 2015. And then finally, this person comes in. I went to high school with both of them, and this is 100% true. Obviously, this is just a person on Reddit. They can say anything, but who knows? I followed Cody on Vine and thought it was cool. My friend was dating him. Didn't know how old he was at the time. Plus, as a high schooler, you don't realize how weird that shit is, which is true. We were definitely around 16, 17 at the time, either junior or senior year of high school. Don't have any proof other than a high school yearbook with her and the vines of them together. But when TMG got big, I did the math on the age difference and thought it was weird AF.
There's a picture just to show this is them together, and then there's a video. There was a Vine of him kissing her head or something.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't work.
Kinda.
Fuck. Damn it.
Yeah, tough. So he is, 25 in this, and she is 17.
Yeah, so around the same time as the Tana thing happened,
Right.
And there's someone else as well. So the fact that all of this, like the information from the Reddit post wasn't necessarily public, but it was coming from a fan who was like recalling it from the time. So, and this Instagram post was posted publicly, the video was posted publicly. Like Cody wasn't hiding any of this at all at the time, which is insane. And it kind of goes hand in hand with how he was dealing his relationship with Tana as well, because they were making collabs throughout their whole entire time of like on and off relationship. They would collab in hotel rooms by themselves with just a camera and a bed right next to them, and meet up at like VidCons and things like that. Crazy that he was living in this world where he's like 25 and seemingly only dating 17-year-olds.
Right.
Very, very disgusting for sure. So as all of this was happening with still no response from Cody, people were finding some old podcast clips that didn't age very well.
There's a bunch of older clips of Cody co-resurfacing, but this one might be the craziest yet. Like the fact that he described it as dating younger people, while Noel Miller says assaulting children, is so telling.
Oh, Seinfeld got away with it.
Yeah.
I was just kind of sitting there, like reading like just one of those tweets, and I'm like, how is it that like when people get rich, like that's like top 5 things they get caught doing?
What, dating younger people?
Just assaulting children, or like just like Seinfeld got away with it.
That is a little bit tough, like in the moment.
Yeah, in hindsight, crazy, but also crazy at the time. I feel like almost the way Cody laughs there is he's like, oh yeah, I guess that is assaulting children. Like he hadn't really considered it before.
Right. I think to be fair, he's kind of caught in the like, he says Seinfeld and he goes like, oh yeah, what did Seinfeld do? And it's like date younger. And then him saying assaulting children is like, whoa, there is such a large gap between those two statements that could both be theoretically describing the same thing, that it is like humorous, right? It's like, oh, fuck, I guess I didn't realize what you were talking about. Now I do. But yeah, that is like, it is podcast clips that age poorly, number 1 here.
Yeah, well, here's number 2, Stanz.
I've steered clear of the Cody Co stuff on main because the whole thing hits close to home, but this video is absolutely crazy.
The fuck? Do you imagine being 25, sitting in classes, pretending you're 16?
God damn, dude.
Just learning about like the periodic table and shit.
Oh my god.
You're like, yeah. Oh, gold. Yeah. Girls being like, hey, you're on varsity, right? And you're like, oh, listen.
I can't
Listen,
talk
this
to
is
you.
this
isn't a good idea.
Really, Cody, isn't a good idea?
He's got more reservations in a hypothetical podcast clip than he seemed to have in his real life.
Yeah, it isn't a good idea. He knows from experience, bro. He knows.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now, if you think this is crazy, Stanz, we're about to get to the craziest part about all of this, in my opinion.
Okay.
As a side note, before all of this shit coming, Cody was doing a DJ side quest in his life where he had quite a few places booked out that he was doing DJ sets at.
Yeah, I will let the people know that I've watched like 2 Cody Co videos in my life. One of them was the DJ video where he like buys all the equipment, practices and sets the thing. And I actually thought it was a really good video. And I think I shared it with you and was like, man, this is like cool. Like he did a thing. And so looking back, it kind of sucks knowing like the kind of person he was. But I do have a history with his DJing. So I know that about him. And to me, he's a DJ, not a commentary YouTuber.
Okay, if you know what's coming, it would be crazy if we see Stanz in the crowd. We'll see.
Out there?
One of his DJ sets that was coming up was in Vegas. And it was about to happen after all this has dropped. So obviously he wasn't going to go because that would be insane after saying absolutely nothing online and staying blank on all socials. But the club was still posting like he was there.
Yeah, the day club, which is like connected to the hotel, was still posting about him. Now, my first thought when I saw this was like, oh, the beach club posted it, but like obviously he's not going to do it, right? Like
completely agree. Yeah,
this
I was
is
thinking the same.
A promoter or like a venue that was like, wait, he's on the schedule, so we just have to have these tweets go live, right?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people thought the same. So people like memeing on the ticket prices, assuming that this wasn't going to happen. But
pricing for Cody Ko's DJ show just dropped. Female $40, male $52, female $17 free. Jesus Christ, I'd never seen this.
It's insane.
That's tough.
But then, Stanz, the day of the event came, and
this is beyond parody. It is crazy. It's real. What's he doing,
absolutely
man?
Insane that it's real. So I saw this about 3 hours after Jarvis tweeted it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, he got like one of the artifacts from like online. People are going to look at this in the Cody Co history books in the future and be like, this was this moment.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that this stays up, right?
Oh, the Encore Beach Club? You're on the Encore Beach Club social media? Like, obviously, the initial post. Oh, here's him actually performing.
The crowd chanting Cody. They don't know. They don't know.
Dude, they might not know. Is that crazy for me to say? They might actually not be like...
None of them know 100%.
Yeah.
Because none of Cody's fans know because he hasn't said anything. They're not chronically online.
He loves that dance.
Just absolutely insane. It gets even worse though, Stanz, because this is already
Hard to imagine how.
we've dealt with the ukulele girl with her
Colin
apology.
Ballinger? Yeah.
Yeah. This is like next level. We thought Colin Ballinger was fucking revolutionizing shit.
Uh-huh.
This is how you apologize for fucking drama about minors, dude.
Yeah,
This
one
is
woman
the peak.
ukulele show? No thanks. I'm selling tickets to my DJ set.
Just when you think it couldn't get any worse, he played this song.
Sorry. Wait. I'm trying to think of like what the worst song could be. Wasn't Me by Shaggy. I'm trying to think of...
That would be peak. That would be very good.
Yeah.
This is... I can't think of a worse song, genuinely,
okay.
for someone that hasn't addressed any allegations and refuses to apologize.
No fucking way Cody Co played Sorry by Justin Bieber at his DJ set today.
Which is crazy enough, but obviously in that moment, right, you have to be internalizing how insane it is, right? As a human being, knowing that you haven't apologized, that you're playing a song that says sorry.
God, it's really hard to think. Like, yeah, what... If you're sitting there and you're like, my life is falling apart theoretically, or like my internet life is falling apart, because obviously he has a wife, he has a kid, there are other things. What are you actually thinking? Are you just phoning it in and that song comes up and you go, well, this is kind of funny, and then you keep going? Or did he put it in to like be self-effacing?
Well, yeah, because it's his set list. He's the DJ, bro.
But this could be an old set list.
How did he not remove it?
That he hasn't like updated. Yeah, exactly. He didn't remove it, but I'm wondering if it surprised him as much as it surprised us.
So in that moment then, Stanz, this song comes on, you would probably, if I was in this position, which I would never put myself in this position in the first place, but if I was here, I would hear this song come on and then try and not dance or react at all. I would feel awful about this playing, particularly.
Sure.
Like, obviously the whole DJ set, I just wouldn't be there. But in this hypothetical, I would do absolutely nothing. What does Cody do?
Well, is he gonna fucking lose it? Is he gonna love it?
I definitely wouldn't sing along to the one line that's bad.
Dude, he's loving it.
This is canonically the only time that Cody Co has said sorry publicly since the allegations of him sexually assaulting a minor.
God, you guys want an apology? He already said sorry, man. Come on. What more can the guy do?
It's fucking insane. I can't believe this is the world we live in. We're in the dark timeline, bro. This is over.
That is crazy. I mean, has he said anything? What is he been up to? Besides DJing, I guess. Is he tweeting?
This is the only public thing. He's
Right, that's what I
literally
thought.
nothing.
Okay, got it.
He's not been active on anything at all whatsoever. The only thing he has done is this DJ set. suppress comments on all of his YouTube videos,
Right.
and then the TMG response, which we talked about at the start. We're going to get to very soon.
Got it. Yeah, that is crazy. Yeah, I feel not partially responsible because that's insane. But when we go through like the Logan Paul stuff or talk about like other drama that is usually more about scamming and less about like violating human beings, I'm always like, hey, you should just say nothing. Like, do not move on. You know what I mean? Just like, don't do anything. And Cody Co is taking from that playbook, and I'm surprised to see it because I actually have never seen it before.
Yeah, maybe he watched one of your videos.
Dude, I'm like watching this and it's like, shit, honestly, probably what I would say. Maybe no DJ set, but other than that. You know?
Yeah, I'd avoid the playing sorry in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
You asked what Cody's been doing since, but
Yes.
we know what Tana has been doing since.
Oh, interesting.
Tana has been pretty active online. She's just been doing her own thing because when she originally talked about it in the podcast, well, not even originally, because that was the one that Cody Co got taken down.
Yeah, originally
but-
it's years ago. Just to be clear to everyone,
Yeah.
like there are clips of her saying this. Again, watch the D'Angelo video years ago.
But the most recent time that she's talked about it was over a month ago. So the fact that she has still like she just hasn't really talked about this at all apart from that, and has just been living her own life.
Because that's what she's been doing the whole time, is trying to live her life. And I think she's become jaded by the fact that no one seems to care, right? She's told this story multiple times, no one is talking about it, and so it's like, well, I guess I'll just keep talking about it, and maybe something will happen, maybe nothing will. She seems to have like no hope for the situation, which is very sad.
Tana's whole thing is like she loves to spill tea, chat shit, and then she like almost can't avoid doing it. So, and then she gets into situations where she's like, fuck, I wish I hadn't have said this because now I have to deal with the repercussions of this person talking shit.
Right.
Like
Put a foot in her
recently
mouth
she
type
had a
thing.
bunch of drama with Alyssa Violet. And she was like, I wish I hadn't said anything.
Phase woman?
Yes, she was. Before Phase, she was Logan Paul's girlfriend or Jake Paul's girlfriend. She was involved in the everyday brother beef.
Oh, okay. Got it.
But there was some drama with her and Tana. And I watched the Cancel podcast, which is Tana's podcast, which everyone should go and watch because it's very good. And she was just saying, like, I have to address this, but like, I wish I didn't. She's just a piece of shit and I don't care and I shouldn't have said anything online, but now I did. So she responded. So now I have to respond and now I'm in it and I have to deal with this. And it was just so funny because she was talking about that stuff whilst all the Cody Co allegations were going on. And she was like, there's too much going on in my life to even have to address this Alyssa Violet shit. I don't know. It was very funny. I'm a big Tana stan. So she's been like posting like daily TikToks essentially, like all the way through this, like she would normally, but she's just not talking about any of this at all. So she's just living her own life, doing her normal things. There's only a couple of occasions that she's like referenced this. One of which being a comment on one of the Cody Co DJ set TikToks.
Oh, wow. Interesting. She said, ha, 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 fuck. That is a weird.
Yeah. If you read the text of the TikTok, you'll understand why she's laughing.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was just to the actual TikTok. Fist pumping to sorry in the midst of one of the biggest influencer scandals ever instead of speaking out is so the real bros of Simi Valley coded. This is a reality show.
So no,
I'm outside of it. This is a yes,
Yeah,
no.
I was going to say, I didn't know if you'd get the reference.
No.
This is an old internet like mini series that Cody Co was part of. Jimmy Tatro, I think, was like the figurehead of it. And it was just basically bros in California being like, yo, dude, and like being like middle-aged, but like still acting like you're young kind of vibes.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
So
hey, nothing wrong with that though.
They also, I think I heard talks of them like doing, like bringing it back for like another like a mini series or like something else or like a feature thing. I can't remember exactly what I heard.
Yeah, they're saying they just made a movie of it.
Oh shit! Because Cody's definitely in that. Did it come out?
I don't know.
I thought it was in the works.
Movie.
It's out?
It's out. It's already out.
Released? Is Cody in it? I thought Cody was in it. Is he?
Who's that?
Yep.
Is that guy?
He's in it.
When did this come out?
1 month ago. This is 1 month ago.
Check it out!
Hey, it's the guy from American Vandal and shit.
Yeah, that's Jimmy Tatro.
New truck, baby! I did.
You are cordially
Oh no, a
invited
Roku
to the
original?
Oh my God, look at this truck. Sad Jet you? Oh my God,
This is
dude.
actually so stupid. It actually looks funny.
It was good, so I'm assuming that this will be good, but I just didn't know it actually came out. Bro, that's got to be the worst timing in history. Holy shit. So anyway, the comment that Tana left, that was basically the only thing that Tana had said on everything since D'Angelo's video. She's been super active on Twitter, like we said, and TikTok and Instagram, promoting her new podcast tour, which everyone should go and check out. The cancelled Tana podcast tour. If there's anything we should be promoting, it's her shit, because it's actually really good. Right. And I've had to listen to a bunch of episodes for this and loved it. 4 days ago from today, when we're recording this, she posted on her podcast's Patreon talking about Cody, and this is what she had to say since D'Angelo's videos dropped.
And like, it just makes me really
It
sad
also
because,
just
like,
wasn't like one time. Like I hooked up with Cody Co so many times across the.
Well, that feels like not what people are talking about.
This is, sorry, for context, this is in response to her being really annoyed at Brittany Broski saying if it happened. As though it was like a one-time thing.
Yeah, she's like, if it happened, bro, we're still fucking. You know what I mean?
It's that kind of vibe, yeah. But this is also, to be clear, this is how Tana just talks about all of her life. Right. And she has been in trouble many times in her career for nonchalantly joking about something that's very, very serious. Whether it's to do with her or whether it's not to do with her, that's just how she lives her life.
Sure, and when it's to do with her or something bad, it's like a way of coping with things, right?
Yes,
like just like, hey, this is the truth of the situation.
The thing is, I don't have the old phone. What if I just went to my Twitter DMs with him to see if they still exist from when I was
crazy to only think about this right now in the moment, but okay.
It's like,
yeah, that's what I mean. That's how she lives her life. She's crazy. But she opens her Twitter DMs and scrolls all the way back to when they used to talk.
Yeah.
And she just keeps scrolling. It's crazy.
Dog, when are you and me gonna get some of these?
All of it. I'm seeing scrolling.
A lot of.
Oh my God, my face is blocking it, but she's making some faces as she scrolls through messages.
How old was I on April 28th, 2015?
Actually, though, I'm not good at math like that.
Wait,
what
okay.
year were you born? 99? 98?
I love the.
This is how me and you figure things out. We're like, oh no, oh no.
How old was I on April 28th, 2015?
What is it? Oh,
all at 17.
Ooh.
All of those messages, you just keep scrolling.
Brother. And I'm also a fan. That's like the sad part. Is it's like
That's
definitely an
another
abusive
important
power.
factor.
Yeah, that's
like,
really fucking.
Ooh.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, I'm talking about like
Wait, did you
his
see?
vines, and he's responding about his vines. So that like can't be.
How
like,
fucking disgusting is that,
like,
dude? She's messaging him about the content he's making, and he's like, "Yeah, let's go fuck. You're 17." It's crazy. Yeah. Originally, the reason that she's like been so nonchalantly like talking about the Cody stuff for years is because in her mind, worse stuff has happened to her, so she doesn't feel like this is bad. In like comparison. That's why she's been dealing with it.
Which people are latching onto. There's been a lot of comments of like, well, if Tana doesn't care, like, why should you care? It seems to be like Cody co-fans and stuff like that.
Yeah, which is absurd.
Yeah, it is.
She
absurd.
does care, right? Like,
which is why she talks about it. And also, she was
care.
a child, and I think that we have like a duty to protect, especially as someone like in the creator space. It's like, yeah, I also feel like a duty to try and protect children and weed things out in this space so that it's safer for people because it's fucking weird, you know?
Yeah, for sure. If there's anyone currently listening to this that feels like how we've just said, is kind of like siding with Cody in this, or like defending that it's okay or anything, I would implore you to go and watch an episode that I will link in the description of Tana's podcast, where she talks about it and she addresses it, and you can hear her fully, without context taken out, of how she feels about the situation, because she holds herself really well and talks about it like she expresses how she feels and why she feels that way and why she's dealt with certain things that way. And hopefully look at it with an open mind, please. And hopefully that will change your opinion on things. Basically, she says worse stuff has happened to her, and this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Here, you know what I mean?
Dude, and if people think like this is fucked up, like wait till they know the light. Like that's the thing. Like, and you know, I felt this way forever. Like I just want to chill
for a second,
and it doesn't feel like I'm ever gonna get that. But at the same time, I guess everyone who's ever done fucked up shit to me probably should be held accountable. But that also makes me feel like such a narcissist, I guess.
How sad. It's like, oh man, taking these people to task for things that they've done to me or people around me and people I love. doesn't make you a narcissist at all. But I know people have been telling you that for years now. Yeah, that's rough.
It's really sad. I hope when Tana is ready that every motherfucker can be held accountable for sure. Because, it's sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, that brings us to current day.
Got it.
Where Cody has technically responded to all this with the TMG Studios post.
Right.
This was originally paywalled and also emailed to all TMG Studio affiliates, subscribers.
Yeah.
But is now made public on their website. Apart from the comments, I can't see what people are saying because I don't want to pay them.
Got it.
I'm not sure this was ever meant to be a public-facing statement, as you'll see from the way it's presented. We're going to go through it all and break it down right here.
TMG Studios, 4 days ago. This morning, we shared the note below with the employees of TMG Studios. We wanted to share it with you as well. Our shows will resume in the coming weeks. Thank you for your support. And then here's the actual message.
Already, that is like... This whole entire message is not intended for us. It's not meant to be for the audience. This is meant to be an internal thing that they are like... Or the context of the rest of this message is meant to be taken internally.
Right. Although they did, we wanted to share it with you. Is you just like anyone who wants to look at it, or when did this get sent to people who paid them? That's what I want to figure out.
Well, so
was it leaked first?
So the top bit, what I'm saying is the from Hi Everyone down was only for people that are working at TMG.
I see.
Right?
Yeah.
And then someone when we should share this to the people that are subscribed to TMG. Mm-hmm. So then they sent that out to the people that are subscribed to TMG with the bit attached.
Yeah, with the bit attached. Okay, just wanted to make sure. I didn't know if it was sent out because they thought, hey, we should send this to like people who care about us and want to know what's happening, or if it was like was getting leaked and they were like, fuck it, we just got to send it out now. You know?
No, well, that did happen, but it was this full message that was, they were like, fuck, people are seeing it, we should just make it public.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, this is what their message was, starting internally. Hi, everyone. We want to start by thanking you all for your patience while we were working to figure out the best path forward for the studio. We know it's been a very strenuous few weeks for everyone, and we really appreciate your willingness to bear with us. You are the most creative and incredible group of people. We feel so lucky to work with all of you. TMG Studios, it's just funny. Like, obviously, sucking them off isn't going to help. Maybe it is going to help, but like, I don't want to hear that I'm the most creative and incredible person and that like you're lucky to work with me. I want to know what the fuck's going on, right? Like, are these things true?
Yes.
Are we still going to have a job and stuff like that? It's just like a little bit annoying in the moment. TMG Studios is what it is because of you. We couldn't be more proud of the incredible roster of talent we've been privileged to work with and everything we've accomplished together. I'm still waiting for literally anything to be said.
At this point, the two paragraphs, those two that we've just gone through, if this was just internally, so you're someone that works for or at TMG, that if you didn't know that this was signed by Cody at the bottom, then I'd be kind of happy with this. If it was followed up by like and so we have, here is how we're addressing
with
things,
Cody
and we've parted ways. Yeah. Like these two is like, hey, we're really sorry this is affecting your lives.
Yeah, maybe I'm being unfair to it because I know like the context of it and that there's not really going to be a definitive statement later. But still, I just feel like there's like a lot of nothingness so far. Besides, just this, like, it feels like you're great. Please don't be mad at me. That's my issue with it.
Yeah. But it's like we're on the rising bit at the start of a roller coaster currently, and then this next paragraph is where it fucking plummets and it falls off the rails and kills everyone.
Okay, here we go. As we enter into the next phase of the studio, we want to let you know that Cody will not be involved in the day-to-day operations at TMG Studios. What has transpired over the past few weeks is a personal issue for him, and Cody wants to remove any effect this is having on your professional and personal lives and the work you and our other hosts have done to make TMG Studios so successful. You know what? Actually pretty good. I'll say
I think the opposite.
Really? What's wrong with it?
So obviously this is no longer an internal post, right? Yeah. So a lot of these things are fucked when they are now taken as like an address to the public. So the fact that the statement refers to Cody sleeping with a minor as a personal issue
that's
for him,
my biggest issue with it for sure.
That's just insane. It's insane to even refer to that internally as like, oh, he's having a problem, so we need to make sure everything's okay for Cody. It's like, what the fuck? That's insane.
It is so funny. Someone called it out in chat earlier, but the fact that TMG stands for Tiny Meat Gang is like,
oh, dude,
it's so
if
hard.
If it wasn't an acronym and they would saying it in full, it would.
Hey guys, the Tiny Meat family is here for you during these trying times.
something that happens throughout this, knowing that it's signed from Cody and Noel, is strange.
Sure.
Because they refer to both Cody and Noel in like a third person, and I'm not sure who's supposed to be talking some of the time. Like, is this supposed to be coming from Noel if it's referring to Cody by name?
Sure.
But that's like a semantical thing. It just makes it a weird, like, who is actually saying this? Is this like some omnipotent being that is speaking to us about this? Very weird. You're like, we wanted to let you know that Cody is not, but like, who's the we? If there's two people, then Cody's also the person. But anyway,
yeah, I do think that this is like Cody and Noel in a room, presumably looked over by a real business person.
And then there's the big line that I think people have kind of misinterpreted a lot. Cody will not be involved in the day-to-day operations at TMG Studios.
Yeah. This one, I don't... I've seen people, you've seen people. One of the reasons like you were so mad, you messaged me about this, is that you've seen people say that like, well, Cody's not even part of it anymore. So like, it's fine. You already got what you wanted.
Yeah.
That's not what this says even a little bit. And I'm smoking weed. Yeah. This just says he's not going to be involved in day to day. Brother, this might be better for him. He doesn't have to do day to day. Yeah. He
like,
owns
you know, like if you commit if you do something bad at school, there's like suspension, which is you just get to sit at home with your finger up your ass for a week and enjoy life and come back to school another day and you don't have to do any lessons.
Right.
And then there's expelled. You get expelled and you're no longer at the school, right? There's two different ones. This is suspension with pay, it feels like. They've not mentioned that he's not on the books anymore. He is just not front-facing and is still going to be sat at the top. He's still, I'm assuming, a part owner of TMG because they haven't said anything about him not being that.
Yeah, you have to assume he is until they say he isn't, right?
So to read that and go, oh, Cody's not part of the team anymore is insane, and this is definitely not saying that.
Yeah, I didn't say that at all. I think this is like, obviously I have like a very close personal experience with something near and dear to this. Like it would be unfair of me to not speak about like the off-brand H-Rock stuff at this time, right? And people still ask me about this to today, but that is not involved in the day-to-day. That was like that is like the expulsion. Like he is not affiliated with, does not have an ownership stake in, does not get paid by, does not work at. It's like we can be very clear about it because that is like the way that this went. And as the person who like wrote that for off-brand, it's like, oh, I can see what they're doing here. Like this is not, they didn't do the thing that it was very painful, but we had to do, right?
Yeah, if there is any weasel words in a statement like that, you know that they are weaseling, right?
Yes, of course.
You would be very clear if you wanted that message to be sent out.
Yes.
This reminds me, you were saying it reminded you of the off-brand thing, which obviously that is you, so it would remind you of that. This reminds me of the Dr. Disrespect with his gaming company situation.
Oh, yeah. Dude, they did not mince words whatsoever. The Midnight Society stuff?
They did not. So Midnight Society, a little TLDR.
And no graphic, too. That's how you know they mean fucking business, by the way. They just ripped it.
TLDR, Dr. Disrespect did bad things, messaged bad people, minors, very similar situation to this, but slightly different. His gaming company that he was essentially the head of, that he had started, tweeted this out when the allegations came out and made it very clear that they wanted nothing fucking to do with him.
Yeah. On Friday evening, we became aware of an allegation against one of our co-founders, Guy Beam, aka Dr. Disrespect. We assumed his innocence and began speaking with parties involved. And in order to maintain our principles and standards as a studio and individuals, we needed to act. For this reason, we are terminating our relationship with Guy Beam immediately. While these facts are difficult to hear and even more difficult to accept, it is our duty to act with dignity on behalf of all individuals involved, especially the 55 developers and families we have employed, along with our community of players.
So the vibes of that, completely different to Cody is no longer part of the day-to-day.
Yes.
And then it being signed by Cody.
That is actually so bonkers. He's not part of the day-to-day, which would include things like, I don't know, press statements, sign Cody.
He's not part of the day-to-day, excluding today when he's written this.
Trust me, this is my last email. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, I promise I'm not going to be involved with anything after this one. That makes me believe that he is like definitely still, even though the next paragraph goes on to mention that Noel is.
Yeah, we actually, let me just read this really quick so that we can not say we skipped over it. Noel will continue to lead the team. His priority remains the life and growth of the studio and its talent. Our audience sees your hard work every week, and we want that to continue. They deserve it, and so do you. We have built something truly special, and he's committed to keeping that alive and well. Yeah, like the tense of a lot of this is very confusing.
Yeah, because we've now switched to where like it's omnipotent being talking about Noel, which if it is only written by Cody and Noel, then would be Cody talking about it. So, but I don't want to hear what fucking Cody has to say about the future of TMG because he's a piece of shit. But I don't know. It's just weird semantics. It makes it very strange to pass.
Yeah. Here's the deal. This should have just been written by Noel. Like that's what you have to do.
A lot of people have been saying that they feel sorry for Noel, and I agree in the same way that we talked about the Brittany Broski thing. Like I think Cody should be getting most of the hate for this, for sure. However, it is crazy to me that he hasn't said anything and that he's like fine with Cody staying in on the company and he hasn't gone, hey, listen, if I can't get you removed, Cody, I'm out. I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to be associated with you.
I guess we don't really know what he thinks, right? With no statement. Like this is written presumably by him, so maybe he thinks it's just a personal issue for him and that him being removed from day to day is all that needs to happen. Maybe he feels more strongly and hasn't made a statement. I don't really know. And until I hear it from him, I don't know how to feel.
Yeah, there's a similar comparison to me, which is Gus and Eddy, which this is going to require another TLDR. But essentially, those two were very funny internet men who had a podcast together. They lived together, and Gus was called out by his ex-girlfriend for being a horrible, abusive, mentally piece of shit. So within like a week or so of finding that out, Gus was the person that had the allegations against him. Eddy then went, hey, you know what? He like asked people, confirmed with the ex and everything, and they were close friends, and was like, that's it. Then I'm cutting all ties. We don't have a podcast together. I'm doing my own thing. I'm never addressing or talking to Gus again because he's a piece of shit. And for context, Gus was the bigger creator in this. And now Eddy is huge, in his own right. This, for me, is a very, very similar comparison of like a duo that are known primarily for doing things together. That one of them did a bad thing, and the other one was instantly like, "Hey, I'm done, cutting my ties. Fuck this guy." And it's been longer than it was since that Eddy responded that Noel hasn't. Right. And I think like much longer. I think maybe there's like legality there because TMG is like a bigger company than like just having a podcast. I don't know whether maybe Noel's like tied legally with like lawyers and shit and they've told him not to say anything, but it looks bad, I will say. And he's deleted his whole entire Twitter apparently. Which I'll say, I just thought he didn't have a Twitter because I couldn't find it. So
right, it existed at one point.
It's crazy. Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to add before we move on?
I would just say that I think that maybe leadership at TMG thought like this would be enough. Maybe it will be enough. I have been wrong before, but it does feel like there has been enough of a gathering of people who have heard about this, thanks to D'Angelo, thanks to other people talking about it, that there will have to be a stronger statement. And it's like we've just been waiting and waiting and waiting, going back to the Sad Boys thing and waiting. It doesn't matter what they say, but we do want to know what they're going to say because that can indicate not how we feel about the things they did, but maybe how we feel about them as people, right? What we think they can do. Like obviously doing the right thing is always the right thing. I'm curious to see what Cody does, what TMG does, what Noel does. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird situation.
It's very different with it being like those two being the figurehead of TMG Studios as a whole. Like they kind of have to exist for their company to exist. So if they fall off, the other podcasts that are kind of underneath it are also definitely going to fall off.
Right. I mean, theoretically they could have another good podcast, but yeah. It's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough. And it'd be hard to be affiliated with TMG if you feel like they haven't done enough to like support a victim, right?
Yeah. I imagine, unfortunately, a lot of the podcasts that are already under TMG are like signed to contracts and can't leave. Otherwise, I assume a lot of them would like to, which sucks that they probably can't. This is me like speculating. I have no idea. I know that one podcast was about to sign with TMG As in, like, they were literally, they'd confirmed it all, and I think maybe had even posted an episode, but then they were like, hey, we ain't doing that. We're going privately, like, as in internally. We're not signing with TMG. I don't know if it was Emergency Intercom. That was the name of the podcast. Here are some of the comments from this, because as I said, it's behind a paywall, so I can't see any of the comments on the original post. Screenshots from people that were already paying for TMG when this came out. And a lot of people are obviously not happy and leaving their responses in the comments on the TMG website.
Right. 34-month member, unsubscribing after all this time. Y'all had so much time to address the allegations. Fuck you, Cody. I love this channel. Psst, I see dead people, which, is obviously a reference to Kendrick Lamar's song. Gave y'all so much money over the years. 46-month subscriber. Yeah, almost 4 years.
46-month subscriber is crazy for something that has maybe only existed for 46 months.
Yeah, they might have been like
the TMG
a day
stuff
one,
wasn't around
right?
for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Gave y'all so much money over the years, from live shows to Patreon and TMG Studios. RIP to that. We've been played, y'all. He nothing but a pussy.
So I think we've got to the end here, Stanz. We've addressed all of the things that have happened since and the lack of response.
Yes. And it's sad. I am sad. As someone who doesn't even watch Cody or Tana, like, I am sad for Tana. I am sad for people who have to, like, go through this with a creator. I am sad that people put, like, this much of their value and self-worth into creators so that this could be, like, distraught for them. And I think I'm mostly sad for people that are like, what the fuck? I gave you so much money, dog. Like, I want my money back. Like, you're being shit. Sucks. Yeah, it's just all around sucks. And I'm apprehensive about what Cody, TMG, Noel will say about all of this. And I guess I just hope there can be some form of closure. The thing I'm thinking about most is Tana's like, this is nothing compared to the rest. It's like, well, what's the rest? Hello?
Yeah. That's
I'm like
crazy.
Scared.
The craziest part about all this, to end it on a lighter note, I still think it's fucking insane that this is the only time Cody Ko has actually said the word sorry in this whole thing. And he's fucking loving it, dude.
He is loving it.